And welcome back to the second part of this tutorial. I'm going to exit out, but before I go any further, let's settle the database itself. So let's go straight to the schema right there and just click on new, this very one. Click on it, and we want to start a new one entirely. I'm going to call that membership. That was the name I call it on the codes. Membership. Now click on apply and click on apply one more time. There we go. My database is now successfully created. So let's come into my database that's known as membership right there. Drop it down. You see the table is empty, so right click on the table and select create table, and the name of the table is also going to be membership. Okay, now you see this arrow here, the double arrow here. Drop it down. Now my very first column right here, and I'm going to enter as follows. Let's call that MEMID. Okay, that would stand for membership ID, and it's just going to be integer. So I'm going to click on this. That is the primary key, and it's not going to be empty. Okay, that is it right there. Now go to the next column. I'm just going to enter in there first name. 45 is good enough. See voucher, which means variable character. Now surname, I'm going to leave that as 45 as well. I'm going to enter address, and after that I'll just enter, let's just say postcode for that code. Yeah, that is fine. Then gender, then mobile, email, and finally I'm going to enter M type. That will stand for membership type. Alright, or we can, yeah, that's fine, membership type, M type. Now let's click on apply. So you have 9 in total. Yeah, there we go, 9. And I'm going to click on apply. It's successfully created. That's good. Right, so my table is now ready. So if I select this table now, that is the membership table. If you double click on it, that is it right there. There's nothing on it. And that's all with the table. So let's minimize that. Alright, now let's come right in here inside my table here. Before I do any other thing, let's take care of the exit button. Double click on the exit button, and right in there I'm going to enter try cache, and the cache should be right underneath here. That's the whole idea, is for it to handle whatever error that we might run into. That was going to be exception EX there. And I'm now going to enter a message box.show. So this EX, that's a message that will be generated by the computer system if there's any error, or by the system if there's any error. And right in here I'm going to enter dialog result, and I'll just call that I exit. There, that is the name of mine. Alright, so I exit is the name of, or the instant name for the dialog result. So let's say I exit, that will be equals message box. I would like you to show as follows: dot show, confirm if you want to exit. So this is going to take in 4 arguments. So that's the first argument. The second argument will just be the name of my system. Let's just call it MySQL connector. That is the second argument. The third argument is going to be message box button dot yes or no. That's number 3 argument. I'm going to put a comma there, press enter, and I will also add another argument. This one is going to be for my icons. So let's look for icon, and the one I'm going to be using is going to be the question mark, message box icon dot question, enter semicolon in there. Now we want to use a conditional statement to check the selection made by the end user. So we will start by using an if statement. If, open a bracket, I exit, if that is equals dialog results. As you can see, Visual Studio 2022 has actually given me the information I need. So I'm going to press curly braces. If I exit equals dialog result dot yes, then we want the application to exit, else the application remains within the system. So if we try that out now, let's run that and see how that's going to work. Click on exit. There we go. No, I don't want to exit. Yes, I do want to exit. So look at the question mark. That's my title. This is what is prompting the user to confirm their intention. So confirm if you want to exit. That prompt the user to confirm what they intend to do. So I'm just going to click on yes. That is it. So that's far better than just exiting out. So get used to that method. It's a very good way, and it's user friendly as well. Okay, that's the first part of it taken care of. Let's take care of reset. Double click on the reset. Okay, in the case of reset, I'm also going to use the try catch as well. We can just copy that and delete whatever we don't need. So paste that right in here. I'm come right down here. You see all of these, I'm going to get rid of them because I intend to use for each statement. So let's say for each, whatever we have inside the control. So for each control, so let's say that is C in panel. Let's check out my panel. I just want to see what panel this is. Select that, come right here, that's panel number 4. For each control within panel 4 dots controls, that will group up all of the controls in there. And now I'm going to enter curly braces and use an if statement. If C is a text box, okay, C, if that is the object itself, if it's a text box, all I just want the system to do is to get it cleared. So I am now going to say, put that in a bracket, text box, close that, and C, let's put another bracket in there. It's going to be within a bracket, so the dot clear is going to be outside the bracket. So dot clear. There we go, and enter parenthesis. That is it. Taken care of. That should clear the whole system. But the other thing is, we have some other components that are outside the panel. That is one of them. 2, and this combo box, they are not a text box. So let's come back here. Right inside here, I'm just going to enter those underneath here. So let's say txt barcode dot clear. Now txt search, that's going to be dot clear as well. Then cbo gender dot text, and that is going to be equals nothing. Then I need one more, CBO member type. There we go, and clear that as well. So that's from here up to here. That should take care of my clear function. Okay, I guess you guys can see that. That's good. So let's go back into our program now. Now, before I go deep into the rest coding, let's do one thing. You see this component here? I actually intend to make it barcode. So what I'm going to do is, in fact, let me show you guys the barcode where you can download the barcode from. I think it's here. There we go. That is it. Now the font that I'm looking for is known as C code 39. That is it right there. It's a barcode. C code 39. So let's search for it. There we go. That is it right there. C code 39. Okay, you can download that. All you need to do is click on the download link, and once you've downloaded it, you then get it installed. That is it right there. Extract it. Okay, I'm going to open it up, extract it, and you just double click on it and get it installed. I already installed it on my system. So what you then need to do is select your object and then go to the properties. Inside the properties, now come right here. You see where we have font? Drop that down. Okay, all I just want to do now is to change the font of this text box to C code 39. Just type in C. Okay, let's see, C code 39. There we go. As soon as I type in double C, and that is it. Select that there, and whatever you type in there now will then appear in the form of a barcode. Okay, so let's bring that down properly. And if I run the program, I just want to show you guys how that works. Run. There. Just type in whatever you want to type in. There we go. That's it in form of a barcode. Okay. And let's make sure all our reset works. Click on reset. There we go. Everything is working. Now that reminds me, 1, 2. Those are combo box. I need to add some data into them. So those two components, this combo box, let's go straight to the properties. Now that you guys know how to create your barcode, let's go straight into the properties. Drop this down and let's look for item. There, the first item is going to be nothing. The second item, I'm going to enter female and male. There, that is it, taken care of. Click on OK. There we go. Now let's do the same thing for the next one. This one, select that, go to the properties, select items, click on that, and the first one is going to be, that will be annual member, and followed by monthly member and quarterly member. There we go. Click on OK. There we go. And that's it. I've taken care of those two components as well. Alright. So let's run it and see how those two components work anyway. So let's see, it's coming up now. There we go. Drop this down. You can select annual member, you can select female or male, whatever you want to select. That's it. So that's that done. Now that that is done, let's put together some functions to get the database rolling. So I'm going to now go straight into the coding area. So let's scroll right up. Right underneath my initialize components, I am going to create a function, and this function, I'm just going to copy this. I'll create a function. I'll just call it let's call it upload, something like that. So let's say upload data. That is my function created. So inside function upload data, I now want to get hold of my connector here. Okay, MySQL connection. So the connector is going to be SQL connect, and that will be dot connection string, and this connection string is going to be as follows. That would be the server, and paste the server right inside a quote, and the server is going to be equals plus server. That's my first connection. I'm going to enter plus again and open up a quote, semicolon, and the next one is going to be the username. Okay, so the username, we can get hold of that, and that's going to be username, or you can call it user ID, whatever you want to call it. That's the username. So I'm going to put a plus there, and the user, that is going to be equals username plus there. And the next one, that is going to be, let's say, plus password, and the password is going to be password as well anyway. So we can just grab whole of the password here, enter a quote, paste password right in there, come out of it, plus password plus there. Now finally we need to enter another plus. The next one, that is going to be the database itself. There we go, that's the database, and it's going to be database as well. So put this in a quote, open up a quote there and close that. Then here just type in database, and a plus sign there. So that's the first connection that will take care of the whole system, but this is the last one, so we should just have semicolon there. Right, so we now want to open up our database. So say SQL connect, paste dot open. There we go. So to get your database working, you have to open it first, then you have to close it at the end of the whole program. So now we get it to open. We also need to call SQL command. So SQL command, that will be dot connection, that will be equals that. So let's grab hold of all of these. Let's paste that in there, dot connection, that is equals SQL con. There. We now want to use the SQL command itself, dot text, and what text do we want in there? I'm not going to use query for now, though I'm going to accept that, but what I want to use is enter my own SQL statement, select all from my database name, which is known as membership. So it's also, the database is known as membership and the table is known as membership. So I say membership dot membership, close that, enter semicolon. So I've just written out my SQL statement. Now we want the system to read whatever we have in there. So SQL, we want you to read as follows. So what we want to do next is, let's ask it to just So let's say SQL read. There we go, that's the read. That is going to be the command dot execute. There, I've just been given a hint of what to enter in there. That is good. Now that we've done that, we also need to get it loaded. So to load it, we need the data table. So the data table, let me just name it as data table. So that's going to be SQL. Let's change that to SQL DT so that I can see it properly. Yep, that's it. The choice is just how you want to name yours. So my SQL DT will then load up the system for me. SQL DT dot load, and that is going to be load the reader. That is it right there. Now that the reader is loaded, we also want this reader closed. SQL reader dot closed. That is it right here, reader. There we go. We'll just close that as well. Okay, now the next thing we then need to do is, since we've closed that, we also need to close the connection. So this is a connection there, SQL connection. That must be closed, dot closed. Once that is closed, let's get our whatever is loaded into my data grid view. So I'm going to say data grid view, data grid view 1 dot the data source, and that is going to be SQL DT, this very one here, enter semicolon, and that is it. I've just finished loading up my database. Okay, one more thing. Let's put together another, just one more function. This very function is just to generate random number for my barcode. So I'm going to get rid of all of this, and that is going to be reference number. Okay, that's okay. There, that is the name. So let's use random function. Yep, random. And what's that going to be? Okay, we just say ren. That will be equals new. There. A new random itself is going to be, let's say, let's create an integer that we call number, and that very number is going to take in ran.next, and we just need to enter some value in there. So let's make up some value for that. That is going to be, let's say, 5,000 plus. Alright, let's reduce this. Okay, that's the range of the random number. So we can make this about 32 plus. Okay, that's fine. There. That's my random number range. So we can then say txt barcode dot text, that is equals, we also need to, okay, dot random to string. Okay, number to string. If I call this now inside the form load, let's call this inside form load, and you will see that right away. So come right down here, double click on the form, paste there. If I run it, it will automatically generate random numbers for me. So let's see. I've just clicked on run, so we're waiting for it to respond. Look, the random numbers generated, but I want to kind of like fill it up. So let's go back in there. I also need, I might as well just call the, yeah, this one, load. Let's come right down here, call that form load. Where's form load? There we go. We also want it to load up the database. There. Now come back here to my function. This very function, where is it? There we go. This very function in here. I'm going to enter some text in there. Yeah, why not? So I am now going to say, just to fill up the add as an additional reference. Okay, additional reference. Let's say plus. I'm going to convert whatever is in there dot to string. Dot to string, and what I'm converting dot to string is going to be number. I'll just multiply that number by 12 to fill up the whole place. So that should fill it up. So let's run it one more time and see that. Run. Once the number generated, let's see what was the error. Alright, equals sign is missing right here. There was meant to be an equals here. So guys, please remember to put your equals. I left those out mistakenly. There should be an equals. Alright, I think that is fine. Okay, let's run it one more time. Run. The missing equals was from my load data. That was the function. You see, that is what I'm talking about. And as you can see, automatically the database is now recognized straight into or straight onto my data grid view. Okay, just with this very function that I've created. Okay, so what we need to then do is to, when we click on this add button, whatever data we enter in here should be stored right onto the database itself, this very database, and also store on my data grid view. But take a good look at my data grid view. There's one or two changes we need to carry out on this data grid view itself. Look at the data. That's the table. All of these data here, they're right from my SQL database here. Okay, you can see it's now filling up my data grid view. So I'm going to exit that. Let's select the data grid view, go to the properties. Inside the properties, we now need to carry out one or two changes. I am going to first of all have a look at the auto size column mode. Auto size, let's see, there we go, auto size column mode. I'm going to change that to all cells. Then the next one is going to be auto size row mode. I'm going to change that to all cells as well. Make sure you guys do that. Come in here to the properties again. The next one we need to take care of is going to be the default cell style. Default cell style, we need to increase that. Where is it? Right there, that is it. Select that. I'm going to make that about, let's come in here and make that about 16. Make that bold. That's one. What about the padding? Maybe change the padding to 2 by 2 by 2. Let's say 2 by 2 by 2 and by 2. If you want to change the color or whatever, it's right there. You can just take care of that as well. Click on OK. Let's take care of the column. That will be the column header. Column header, height and size. That's auto. Okay, column header, height and size default. Select that. And we need to change this one to 16 as well. There we go. And I'm just going to make this 2 by 2 by 2. there. Click on OK. Okay, now let's just run it one more time. The changes should now take effect. So let's see. There we go. Look at that. Okay, it's now bold. So when I enter all my data, that will stretch out everything. Okay, that's fine. Now, I think I'm going to call it the end of the second part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.